selling trinkets and baubles, you know, fake magic items.
Right, you were colonist.
Basically, maybe one of those fake magic items I had wasn't fake, and that might have something to do with him coming back.
Okay. Not bad. Something to work with. I do my best thinking like before bed. Usually, like when I go to sleep by like thinking weird things about D&D until I fall asleep.
So there's actually a big subreddit called World Building, where people just like build worlds, right? Usually it's all fantasy based, but some people build modern worlds or futuristic, whatever.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things is that people do exactly that. They go to bed and they think about their world, and they think about their world until they fall asleep.
Well,
and they wake up and it's like, man, I had all these good ideas, and then they actually like create those ideas into more backstory or history or whatever.
The subconscious is a powerful thing. Not only that, but I've felt for a long time that if I wanted to get to sleep, I had to think about something absurd. Right? So, like, as an example, like a flying pink elephant or something like that. Something dreamy helped me go to sleep, which sounds really stupid, but there you have it.
I mean, thinking about D&D is a great way to do that, though, right?
Right, like it could be dreamy and everything's very vague and undefined.
Yeah, fantasy and monsters and dungeons and paths and encounters, and next thing you know, it's 7 a.m.
I don't think about paths, like, I don't think about map layouts, for example, but I just think about plot threads and how they connect characters. I can't visualize a map well enough. I gotta basically do that at the pen or with a program. I'm pretty excited about this dungeon that I just made, though.
It's like you're excited about it killing everybody.
Well, again, when I say nobody's gonna want to play when we're done, it's not because you're all gonna die. Though you might all die, don't get me wrong. But that's not what I'm talking about.
It's alright, I've already died once apparently, so...
Like, just outside the temple, they're like, oh, we've fought like 3 battles. And I'll explain my reasoning here, but they were like, yeah, we fought like 3 battles, we need a long rest. Everybody's hurt, we're out of spells. We'll try a long rest.
Oh man,
what happened when they long rested, Matt?
Oh yeah, we got attacked a lot because there's no place safe to long rest.
Right.
We happened to find a safe space currently, which seems to be where a couple of guys previous were able to find shelter from these patrolling explodey guys.
The Arigaskidis. No, they don't. The explodey guys are the Provora. The Arigaskidis, the other guy who kept casting a spell and you kill him before his spell went off.
Yeah.
It's the guy that they said sees through all.
Yeah, that's right. Either way, I will say that our casters are blowing high level spells on like nothing.
Dude,
like Lauren was really bad for it there.
Oh, fucking Cam, it blows everything. Every fucking fight. That guy is just like, it'll be like the first fucking fight. It's like, here's the first fight. There's like 3 dudes. You don't know what they are. I use my biggest spell. Like, okay. Every time.
Yeah, and then like on the second fight that we had, Lauren had just dropped, she had her big healing aura thing. Yeah. She had that up in the last fight because she had used it in the last fight, and then the very first thing she did when she saw the second fight was to use it again, and I was like, wow, I don't think that's needed right now. Like, we ended that last fight with basically full health, and a lot of the healing off of the last spell got wasted. It just ran off, and we had more than enough to heal ourselves to full at the end of the fight from it, plus extra that just didn't get used, right? It's like, you probably could have used different spell off of that spell slot. But then she was like, "Oh, I have no spells. I don't know what to do." And it's like, well, it's because you burned all your fucking spells.
Yeah,
like by the end of that, when we were like, okay, let's rest, I was like, sure, I'm looking pretty good because I still had like most of my shit because I just didn't use it.
yeah. If anything, I err on being too conservative with my spells. But I've noticed for a long time that Cam is just like blow everything all the time.
Oh yeah, he blows
Like,
everything all the time.
It's like you never see that guy just be like, I use a cantrip. There's like no slow mode.
ever. There is no cantrip for him ever, and he'll always use, his bardic inspirations every single time. It's
Or like-
well, you only have so many.
Overwrite his own slow with a fairy fire or shit like that.
Yep. Yeah. He like I
Oh,
said, he
man.
next levels himself out. It's like he's like, I fairy fire these guys. Great. We got one attack on them, and then he dropped his own fairy fire for a slow. Who's like,
Anyway, so it's stuff like that. So I'll give it straight away. Resting ain't gonna be a freebie in this dungeon. Period. And
yeah. So
this
don't
is
just blow all your shit.
This is to address behaviors that I feel like are detrimental.
It was definitely something I wanted to address out of character at the beginning of our next session.
I think I'm usually super trigger happy with my spells.
What's that?
So I don't think I'm usually super trigger happy with all my spells.
I don't remember.
I don't think you were.
I don't think. I never recall thinking that. No.
That just runs. That just runs contrary to my nature. Like, when I play RPGs, like I always hold on to all of the fucking things in case I might need them eventually, and eventually never comes because I just always hold them for whatever.
Yes.
Like.
I am way more on that side myself. And I think it's a 3.5 thing, because I noticed when we were at Marty's table doing the 3.5 stuff, it would be like, fight, sleep. We gotta sleep, guys, let's sleep. And I was always like, what? Like, okay. And I was playing the wizard.
Cut your throat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that shit's BS. You're supposed to be doing several fights a day, not like 2 and resting, just always having max shit.
That seems pretty fucking good. Starting at the 6th level, when you cast a spell that deals damage of the type associated with your draconic ancestry, you can add your charisma modifier to 1 damage roll of that spell. At the same time, you can spend 1 sorcery point to gain resistance to that damage type for 1 hour.
You have to spend the sorcery point to add 1 damage, or add your charisma to the damage?
No. I could just do that. It says,
That was worded very strangely. It said
you
1
can add
damage.
your charisma modifier to 1 damage roll of the spell type, based off your draconic origin.
Oh, 1 damage roll. Okay, so that's like if you used the Scorching Ray with 3 rolls. You only get to add your charisma to 1 of them.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're
It's still good. Plus 4
yeah,
fire
let's say
damage.
you're
Good.
let's say you're a lightning guy, like a blue dragon with lightning power or whatever.
I think
and
bronze
you,
is lightning.
Bronze is lightning. Blue is also lightning.
Anyway,
Yeah,
whatever.
but let's say you cast lightning bolt, you could just like add your charisma modifier to that lightning bolt.
Yeah.
And then
Well, it
after
seemed
I cast,
particularly good for cantrips.
yeah, exactly. And then after I cast a spell of the type, I can spend a sorcery point and gain damage resistance of that type for 1 hour.
Aren't you already resistance to fire or something?
Probably. I don't know. I'm fucking dude. I'm sitting here reading the book because I'm trying to like relearn shit. You know, like it's been a while. Actually, yeah, draconic resilience. No, draconic resilience is just an AC. Some extra hit points.
Unless I'm thinking Matt's Tiefling Warlock.
Yeah, he was resistant to fire because he was tiefling.
Yeah, tieflings are just naturally resistant to fire.
That seems like a pretty good perk.
It's a pretty fucking good perk, I'll tell you that.
Half damage on fire. Oh, good.
You know
Did
something
you know-
that triggers me for no fucking good reason, but it does every damn time? Is when those guys are like, oh, this was better in 3.5. I just want to be like, man, would you shut up about 3.5? Every
You know,
time.
it doesn't.
I try
mean,
not to let it bother me, but like it does.
That one totally doesn't bother me.
It's like, fuck, the last one was
don't
Marty's like,
actually care.
none of the monsters in 5 had vulnerabilities or anything.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
it's because
I'm
it's
like,
fucking double damage, dude.
yeah, like vulnerability and stuff like that are just wow, that's so crazy. The other thing is that 3.5, the way everything's set up is it's very swingy and it's very to turn the phrase hit or miss.
Yeah, really low hit points, high armor, right?
Yeah, like you never hit, and when you finally do hit, it's like fuck yeah, and then it's like
You
cool.
just kill it.
You either kill it or it's like incredibly impactful, but you never fucking hit, and those are all feel bad. It's way more.
Oh, finally it's dead.
Yeah. Oh, finally a hit.
Yeah, well,
you know, like
at level 1 fighting goblins, that's literally what it is. It's just a lot of misses when you hit them. Because their AC is going to be
And
like
that's so
16 or something.
yeah,
like level
like
nothing
a
more.
goblin has 16 AC, which is like unheard of. Like I think it's way better to like just for the feel of the game and what your players are going to experience to have them actually have successes more often than not. Maybe you're not going to kill it right away, but you're hitting it, you're doing something, instead of just miss. It's like, cool, I just rolled a 12, but because I only have +3, I still miss this goblin. Like, what? How is a 15 a miss at level 1? And it always was. It's like, why am I even playing this game?
Yeah.
And then even at like level 3 or 4, I think like some of the skills, it was like with the amount of skill points that you got. I remember on the rogue there after we got fireballed and lost everybody and rolled like the quintessential party. That rogue that I had my skills were through the roof. It's like, yeah, I just get plus 11 to this.
Well,
at-
and skills in that game are so dumb because there's like 50 of them. There's so many. It's like, Jesus Christ.
no, 5 is so much better. Like,
The other thing too is I don't know if you remember calculating damage on Alex's fighter. Because he'd have like 2 buffs from Cam and like 3 different pieces of gear and this and that. It was just like, you know, it was just so much just to figure out his damage at any given point in time.
yeah, exactly. I give him bull strength, and then, oh, I have this with the extra plus, and then, oh, I'm also going to, like, you know, overhit him with this extra thing, and it was
Power
like
attack. How much power attack?
power attacks, yeah, like, fuck.
Mind you, overdraw is basically power attack. Fucking
It
Lothardal's
is.
like fucking broken, man.
It's pretty fucking crazy.
Doing a lot of damage because of that overdraw. And I don't know, I didn't say this because I figured he might, or maybe he didn't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it because he's like leaving now anyway. He sold his Scarab of Protection and the Gem of Seeing,
You mentioned that in the chat.
and I was like, dude, that Scarab of Protection, like, just from its gold cost alone, you should have realized you shouldn't sell this because you're getting a fraction of what it's worth. It gives you advantage on all saving throws. Are you kidding me? You sold
Yeah,
that?
why-
Are you mental?
why
Why would you
would
get
he-
rid of that?
Because he wanted like
Yeah.
+2 armor. Like what? Okay.
He wanted, like, extra armor and a bow.
And
He got, like,
bracers.
+2 armor and a +2 bow.
But like, as far as I'm concerned, that Scarab of Protection is like one of the most powerful items in the game. Just sold
Yeah, it is. Okay.
So. Well, that's fine if that's what you want to do, man. I'm not gonna tell you what you can do and what you can't. I was giving him 25% cost of resale too, so you got like peanuts for it, relatively speaking. I'm on a weird track, man. It's like it's in a mountain somewhere or something. It's a little wide.
I didn't take a beat. I must have taken score improvement.
Stats.
Seem to have. I mean, I'm level 4.
I remember your stats were junk. I think you actually took the stats.
No, you had like, oh, at level 4? Yeah, I think you took stat to get your charisma to 18, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Seems reasonable. Either that or you took spell sniper. But that would be listed if you did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't see any feats listed.
I would have probably took
listed
stats.
that. So yeah.
I'm a little disappointed I don't get to play Ajax anymore, but oh well.
You seem cool. I liked your paladin. I wasn't super sold on Birdman.
What the hell is this power cube that I have?
Nothing I gave you. Power cube?
Yeah, I vaguely recall we found something. I guess you told me to call it a power cube. I don't know where. Yeah, I don't know.
Did it turn into the Charlatan's die? Oh,
Nah,
you like looted that from... Oh, it was that robot that you got the Endless Eye from.
Oh right,
You, like,
I took his
looted
power, source.
core. Yeah.
There's a fucking thought on how I came back. Maybe that power core resuscitated me. I don't know.
Sci-fi thing doesn't really mix into the nightmare thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing darts at the wall, you know.
food for thought.
I have taken first place. Now I just have to not spin out for 3 laps. Oh my god!
Like that?
It's okay. No, I didn't spin out. I'm all right.
I only almost spun out.
If I can feel the back end start to move. Uh-oh. Sometimes the long, fast corners are the worst, man.
Yeah, I can see that.
You just go into them a little bit hot. Like, uh-oh. If I stop applying gas, I'll spin. If I brake, I'll spin. If I keep applying gas, I'll hit the wall. Funny, when you stop applying gas, what happens is your weight of your car goes onto the front 2 wheels, and then the back wheels spin out. Right? So it's like anything but just like 50% throttle is a spin.
When I watched you play that race there, there was that one time you spun out and hit the wall, and you were just like, "Oh shit!" You were looking all over the place. So you somehow got righted, and then didn't lose first place, and were able to keep it.
I had such a huge lead on that track. Normally, if you spin out, you don't keep first. Actually, I think I went into third after the spin out, and then took the first back. If I recall. But anyway, yeah, that doesn't happen very often. Usually, you spin and you lose like 10 positions, and good luck getting them back.
Yeah, I mean, you got first place after like 2 laps, and then you had that first place for like 4 laps, and you were crushing it. You spun out and were able to right yourself, and you were still first. It was just like, wow.
Well, I only play on average, right? The difficulty is getting through the pack. Once you're leading them, it's fine. But getting through the pack without them ramming you and you ramming them and just bad things happening is really difficult. Driving near the other drivers is the hardest part by a long shot. And I don't know if you noticed either. After I spun out on that one, my car was damaged, eh? Every time I braked, it would pull, I think it was left, like really badly. So I wasn't even able to get, the lead back that I should have had. And we've been using our webcams too, Mill. I don't know if you still have yours set up or what. Everybody but Matt, who sucks.
I'm actually picking one up this weekend when I get paid. I'm going out. I'm gonna get one. So
I'm gonna need to get a new one. The one I'm using is actually my work cam. The one I have is really bad. The work one's pretty good.
Yeah, I got an HD. Fucking Logitech.
Mine was like really low FPS. And good night, hon.
Mine's a 1080p Logitech.
Very good.
That means I have to wear a shirt? It's reasonable.
Oh yeah, save it. Sorry about that. Daughter aggro.
Alright. So everybody's level 7.
Yes, level 7 is the level.
Level up again? I know there's like an auto.
It's under the gear. When you hit the gear at the far right bottom, there's Charactermancer +1. There's 2 Charactermancer options. One of them resets you at level 1. Don't do that one. Do the one that's like level up or something.
Launch level 1. No.
Launch Charactermancer. I think it's the
launch level plus Charactermancer.
Level plus sounds good, yeah.
Level plus Charactermancer, yeah.
So I can just level up to 7 all at once, I think, right?
I think so, yeah. You can just change the number of levels you're gaining.
Yeah, level 4 plus 3.
I think that D&D needs to do something with hit points that isn't so boring between average and roll. Because roll is way too risky and average is way too boring. There should be like a nice...
I actually agree with that.
Yeah. They need to have a range, but just tighten it a bit so you don't just get fucking 1. You know? And it's especially bad that the average is statistically purely better. Because it's actually above average.
It is, yep.
Like,
Because you get the high side of the roll.
yeah, it's like...
Because, like, you know, let's say you're a D8 class, well, an average is 4.5, but you get 5 every time. So
Yeah.
you're technically getting better every time. It's always better to take the average.
Yeah, it feels pretty bad to not. And it feels boring too. So,
Add 3 new spells.
And, like, let's say you kind of roll on the high side of all of your rolls, and let's say you're level 7, and all of your rolls have been, like, you know, decent or on the high side, you're still, most of those decent or averagely high are gonna average out to just getting the 5 anyway, but you might have an extra couple of hit points, right? And it doesn't matter at all. You know, it's like, oh great, I rolled an 8 once, and, you know, now I've got 32 hit points instead of 29 hit points. Great. Just with taking the average or the roll or whatever it is.
I'll tell you, fucking con bonuses, I'm realizing, start to add up fucking fast.
Are so
It's like
good.
You're level 7 and you have +2 con, you get extra 14 hit points. Like, whoa,
Yep.
that's a lot.
And it doesn't matter what class you are because you're getting an extra 14 hit points. That's huge.
Yeah.
And it's retroactive. So if you get level 8 or level 4, let's
Bump
say,
up your con.
bump up your con, bang, you get all that hit points retroactive. It's like, oh, I'll spend
Yeah.
my 1 point to raise my con from 15 to 16, and then I just get 8 extra hit points on top of all of that, you know?
This is
Like-
what Charles was saying. He gave his barb some magic belt, didn't tell him that it was cursed, and like if he doesn't get it fixed in something like 7 days, he's gonna permanently lose 4 con. And I'm like, that's rough, dude.
Yeah.
That's really rough. Like, I was like, I don't think most of the players in my game would appreciate that at all. Like, -4 con is, you'd feel like you're playing a GIMP character for the rest of the time. You'd be like, can I just die and re-roll? Because this
Yeah.
is bad.
Like, -1 con, -2 con, maybe?
Maybe.
Okay. That's a bad curse, but, I mean, you can get over it. But -4 con?
Yeah, it's like, good,
Like,
and on a bar,
fucking-
because that's your AC too if you're going on armor.
Yep, that's
Like,
your
it's
AC,
really
and
bad.
it's like all of your fucking con saves against poison, and like, ugh. Barbs are supposed to be high health. If they have no con, then what the fuck are they doing as a character? You might as well just scrap them, roll a new one.
It sounded pretty bad. I was like, no, I wouldn't make that call. But whatever. Not my thing. He knows people he's playing with better magic. Virginia International Raceway. So what's going to happen soon in that game too is that the 6th deity is going to be introduced. and his symbol is going to be a setting sun. See?
God damn it.
I don't get it.
The setting
Synthwave
sun thing?
Oh, okay. Never mind. Took me a second. I get it now. I get it.
Oh, good, a blind hairpin. That's everyone's favorite term. At night, too. Blind hairpin at night. It's good. You know, I was talking a lot about this. It's funny that women aren't actually top dogs at all racing events. Because they weigh less than men. Like, they have a huge advantage.
As far as I know, I actually heard about this because my dad was really big into racing. And I think it has to do with the physical muscle endurance factor.
Oh, you could be right in G-forces and stuff too, right?
G-forces, like holding the wheel, operating all your foot pedals, and yeah, like tightening your whole body against the G-forces and things like that to try and keep your own weight from shifting the car by purposely shifting your weight to the other side of the car, things like that. Those physical attributes of the driver, like they actually have to be in incredibly good shape to be able to do that and do it for 3 straight hours.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was reading about this one F1 car. I don't know if it was one, but it was a few. I think they banned it since then. But it had some function where, like, you had to cover this hole in the cockpit with one of your legs to do something. I think it had something to do with the boost or whatever. Not boost, that's not what it's called. Turbo. I think it had to do with the turbo.
Okay.
But you had to like push your leg out to cover this hole on and off during the race, and the drivers were saying that their fucking legs sore like crazy. And like, man, I don't know if you've seen an F1 wheel, but there's like 100 damn buttons in those things. Looks hard as fuck. But also awesome. Unfortunately, F1 is one of these fucking ones where you have to like pay a crazy subscription to actually watch the events. You can't just go on YouTube and watch F1 racing.
This Charactermancer is so sweet. It just inputs everything.
It's so fucking good.
It's a little shit for divine classes, but otherwise it's very good. Does not do divine spells very well. Unless you're never planning on changing your memorized spells, in which case you should be playing a divine class. I digress.
I can have a full spell. Just double check. Let me pick 3 new ones.
That sounds
I
right.
actually passed all 3 new ones.
I think it's like 1 per level.
Spells known 8. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Charactermancer will pick everything, so it should be fine. Sorcery points, holy back.
Holy fuck, that item that Marty gave me on my Kenku Sorcerer, Shadow Sorcerer in his campaign
Yeah.
is fucking bonkers. I get all of my sorcery points back on a short rest.
Yeah. Dude, he gave us a bunch of bonker stuff. I was like, really? Okay.
Okay.
My shield
He
casts
gave me that and a
fireballs.
cloak of, he gave me that and a cloak of displacement. So it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I felt like we were pretty overpowered. That,
Yeah.
both the magic mace and the shield he gave me, I was just like, oh, these are like fucking end game items. Like, alright. Whatever. Mind you, I gave you guys some pretty decent stuff. Being immune to crit seems pretty strong.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, I'd say.
That sword, the blunted bastard, like both of my weapons are fucking awesome.
The other thing too is, and I don't know if this is exactly a criticism or not, and I certainly have to be able to give it from time to time, but the items felt very tailored to the character. I kind of like giving out stuff that's just like generally good.
Like for anybody, yeah.
Yeah, like, and then letting you guys figure it out, because otherwise I feel like it's hard not to play favorites.
Right.
or to feel like you might be, like you just, it's like, I don't know, man. That's why I do stuff like give out that stone dagger, where it's just like, well, you know, a few people could use this, but it's whatever. I mean, you were in need of an offhand, so it didn't seem like an obvious choice. But didn't have to be.
Oh, that thing is nuts. Prefer to, like, the damage on it's pretty low, but holy fuck, like, every single turn, just gain, like, 6 to 9 temporary health. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and in theory,
At level 8, I'm gonna take stats. I'm not taking a feat. I want, more con and more, what's the other one? I think wisdom, because I'm like one off of both of those.
oh yeah, if you can get a +1 on 2 stats by, you know, going 1-1.
Yeah,
Seems
that's
like
what
a
I'm
good
doing.
level. Yeah, that's what my paladin's plan was. At level 8 or whatever.
That's what Perry had to do at level 4. Stats were fucking garbage, so...
I assume I probably don't have this black herb antidote anymore.
No.
You know, it's funny, I still actually have that written in my inventory.
Yeah, you still have a couple of them left over, but given that you were resurrected in a nightmare or something, I'm gonna say no. I don't know about that power cube either. I'll have to think about some of this stuff. You might have to come back naked like Gandalf.
Some white robes. Laugh your way away.
Hey, he didn't even come back with white robes. He was sent back naked till his task was done.
Gandalf?
Yeah.
I don't remember him being naked in the movies.
Well, no, he wasn't, but that's what he says.
What kind of weird download did you find?
That's what he said. I was sent back naked until my task was done.
I mean, I don't really have that much on me, but it doesn't make any sense. Got a couple of health potions, that black herb antidote, power cube, and the charlatan's die. Everything else is just basic shit.
The charlatan's die. You can keep. Also, as far as you guys are aware, all the black herb was destroyed when you cut it all down at Atrium Harbor. Well, there could still be more here and there, but you disrupted the primary supply. Yeah, this blind hairpin at night can just go fuck right off. Ah! Keep breaking late. Not like this track.
watch Wrong Turn tonight, and then we got talking about a bunch of shit, D&D and stuff. Guess I'm watching that tomorrow, or maybe Wednesday night.
Counted my draconic resilience when I leveled up or not.
Should have.
Calculate that. I would have expected to, yeah. And I was just like, I'm just going to add another 7 HP. How many hit
No,
points
it's
do you
just-
have?
I have 51.
What's your con?
14.
If you're a sorcerer with 51 health,
I'd say you're
I think
doing
it's
pretty good.
adding it.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot. Even with 14 con, that's like an awful lot.
That's an awful lot of HP. You should have like 28.
Oh, I took the average, so
Yeah, I believe you. I'm just saying. 51, you're good.
Yeah,
You're
and
super good.
yeah,
That's really hard.
the average is 4 times 7, which is 28 plus your con.
Lauren's got like 30 something hit points.
Yeah, because like you only get d6s, I'm pretty sure, right?
Well, you D8 for a sorcerer.
Oh, maybe it's d8. Okay, so that's 5 times 7 is 35 plus your.
But I mean, it's D8.
it's
for
just
a
one.
druid.
It's just one extra hit point per level.
7
That's
hit points.
still huge. 7 hit points.
Yeah, so that's 21 from Draconic Resilience and the +2 con.
Yeah, so 21 plus your average of 30. That's your 51 hit points. Yeah, so you're good.
7 HP is a lot. It's essentially another level. Right? A little more than another level.
Yeah, I think the average is like 5.
Yeah.
Average is 5. Yeah. Takes the high side of the point. So. Because yeah, an average for any dice is going to be like let's say a D10. It's going to be 5, but I think it gives you 6 on those.
Yeah.
Either way, do 1 HP and 16 AC seems pretty alright.
For a fucking caster, yeah, it seems pretty insane.
Yeah, you'll be alright.
For a
Or
fucking
will you?
clothy.
Well, basically because of that draconic resilience, it's like I have passive mage armor on.
Yep. Why did I do that?
I'm gonna go have passive bed armor on. Watch some TV for half an hour and crash out. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.
Okay, later, dude.
Congrats on your passive bed armor.
Alright. Yadar's all rolled up and ready to go, so.
Okay. I'll have to think about where to put you.
could always just stroll in and just be like, hey, what's up? You know, I know a guy who knows a guy. Hook me up with a ride.
Ride to the moon? The new guy hooked me up with a ride to the moon. So, you're laughing like Billy from Predator. Hell.
I'm sorry, this is how I laugh. Fuck you. About like fuck is it tetrodotoxin, the pufferfish venom that makes people appear dead but not actually dead.
you just eating some bad seafood?
Well, I mean, maybe I didn't die. Maybe the whatever killed me actually only poisoned me, and it looked like I was dead. I don't know. Just, like I said, just throwing darts at the wall.
No, I'm pretty set on you being part of the nightmare.
Okay.
I think that works really well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would help explain how I got there, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I'm so dumb. Stop
Still
braking
like-
on turns when you don't need to brake, you big fucking stupid face.
Yeah, I don't know about it there. I know in real life, though, for high-speed cornering, I generally find letting off the gas, you know, going into the turn and then gassing once I'm in the turn works pretty well.
Yeah, well, you brake before. I mean, it depends on the car you're in and stuff, right? And how fast you're going. But in a rear-wheel drive car, if you let off the gas while you're turning, your weight goes to your front wheels, and your rear wheels are very likely to spin and produce oversteer.
Yeah,
Which can be
clearly-
useful if you do it just right, but is also very risky because you can spin.
No, clearly I'm not driving race cars, you know, on the day-to-day. I do drive rear-wheel drive vehicles, but not ones with thousands of horsepower.
Well, I'm not driving. I've been driving really low-end sports cars, just to like, it's way easier to learn the track system. It's really hard to learn a track when you're going a million miles an hour. Like a couple series ago, I was driving a fucking 1970 Pontiac Firebird, or no, a
Those are
Trans Am,
not-
a fucking Trans Am.
Those are not good at steering.
Oh, I know.
Just saying.
Like, but they got a ton of power, and if you don't take the turns just right, the back end spins.
Yeah, those are quarter-mile cars. Those aren't fucking long-distance race cars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and then the last race I was doing was a Mazda Miata, which is a little cornering vehicle. That thing didn't spin much. Yeah, well, you know, it said apparently the Mazda Miata is the most raced car in the world. That's what it said. And I was like, really?
Well, they're small and they're fucking super low to the ground, so they handle really well.
Yeah, they're probably not terribly expensive, you know, relatively speaking.
No.
Affordable sports car, right? But anyway, yeah, no, that thing handled really nicely. It didn't spin too much unless you really did something foolish.
Like, I've been in a Miata a couple of times in my life, and like I don't fit in the driver's seat very well.
Well, they're Asians.
They are very small cars. Like try to work the fucking clutch in a car where your fucking knees are smacking the dashboard.
Yeah. Well, I was telling Morgan this. I was like, your daddy can never be a race car driver, even if he wanted to be, because he's too big.
Yeah, so you're pretty tall, so
yeah, there's no way I'm fitting in a Formula One car. It just ain't happening.
Has to be modified.
We drive the extra long car. And right now I'm in like I said, a Mitsubishi GTO, which is something like 250 horsepower. 300 horsepower, something like that. Not a terrible amount. Pretty reasonable driving. Although I was doing some series in a Diablo, and those things can move. And yet it's the same shit with them, like fucking, you steer that wrong and you can say goodbye to your ass end. And there's different versions. About 3 races in, I actually switched my engine to an all-wheel drive, but I had to sacrifice something else. I can't remember what. It's like it restricts your car's performance for the series. You got like a class and a performance number, so you can do some modifications to it, but you know, if you turn one thing up, you got to turn something else down.
Right. I mean, all-wheel drive would give you real good stability.
Yes, I still find steering with no gas results in you sliding. I don't like steering with no gas. You can do it for like little bits. Or like if you're doing it intentionally, you know, slow yourself down a little bit by turning with no gas, but you gotta be turning pretty light, or else your car just starts to spin. You put so much grip on the front tires by slowing down.
Physics get weird at high speeds, I guess.
It's been pretty fun buying this wheel, man. I'm like, I used to really be into racing, and I just, just fell off my radar for a long time. But I played the shit out of Need for Speed and Gran Turismo.
I've just never been great at racing games. Like part of the way part of driving for me is feeling the movement of the vehicle. When I can't feel what the vehicle's doing, it really fucks me up.
Yeah, well, the force feedback helps with that a little bit, but you don't get the G's in your seat. You know, feel cost. But it definitely, with the force feedback wheel, you can like tell when the tires are about to give way. It's like, oh, they're fighting me. Oh, they're about to slip out. I can feel it. You know?
Right.
Like,
There's some tactile response, or feeling that you can respond to.
Yeah, and like, I did like racing with a controller, but man, you just do not have the fine-tuned, control that's required. You know, you have to turn on all these racing assists because, especially with the throttle, like that trigger button is way too difficult as a full throttle.
Yeah, it probably fucking goes from 0 to oh shit in fucking no time.
You basically have like half and full is about your level of granularity.
Right. You have very little control over how much gas you. Do you have? I guess you have a foot pedal with that wheel.
Yeah, it's even got a clutch, but I didn't buy the shifter with it. But yeah, it's got gas, brake, clutch, and they're nice. You know, like it's like I should have expected this, but I didn't. But like when you put them down, like the gas pedal's this nice long pedal with a long push distance, and then the brake pedal's like this little stiff pedal beside it. It's like, oh, yeah, I mean, just like in my car.
Right.
I guess I should have expected that, but I didn't. Figured they would just be 3 like generic pedals. But no, I'm super impressed. Mind you, the wheel's like $300. It ain't cheap.
I would love to try playing a racing game in one of those fucking crazy fucking setups people have.
Full-on simulator that tosses you around.
Even one that doesn't toss you around. I've seen plenty of people who's had them that's basically, they have a racing seat and they have the fucking the wheel, the pedals, the shifter, like, wraparound monitors.
The monitors would help. I feel like the peripheral is where you really perceive the speed.
Yeah.
That's where you see things going by faster than in front of you. Also, I notice I have a real problem sideswiping people because I don't know they're there.
Right,
It's like,
you
what do
can't,
you do?
You can't just look to your side and be like, oh, there's a guy there.
Right, like there's an arrow that tells me there's a guy there, but I really have no exact knowledge of the distance. It's like,
Right.
it's not great, which is why I like to play just, no, you cunt.
I like to play No You Cunt.
I like to play on a bit easier so I can just get ahead of the pack and race. It's
Right.
really hard to play in the traffic. And I'm not about to buy another monitor right now.
Yeah. It seems like those Microsoft games could get pretty expensive. Like, I guess the racing game, just like the flight simulator, like people just get some ridiculous setups going.
Well, there's a lot of racing games, not just the Microsoft. I have Forza, but in hindsight, is this what I would get? I don't know. Forza seems like your best purchase if all you have is a game controller. For sure.
Right.
I tried iRacing. I tried iRacing with the controller, and it was like, haha, nope. You can't play this with a controller.
That just sounds funny to me. What are you doing? iRacing.
iRacing. Yeah.
iRacing.
One thing I'm impressed about too is how well this game runs, considering my rig's getting pretty old. Basically, it just seems to rely entirely on video card. The processor and RAM and everything, I guess, don't matter as much.
Right.
It's good. Because
Yeah.
I get like 90 frames with everything basically full.
I've been getting really good frames since I got this monitor. I am super happy that I fucking bought it.
What monitor do you like?
It's a 27-inch Samsung curved monitor. It's actually, it's a gaming monitor, and it
Why
maxes
do you
out
get-
at like. What's that?
Why do you get better frames? Is it not 4K?
No, it's not.
I don't think 4K is worth it.
No, I don't, because it's like
Consumes
really
way too much.
taxing.
Yeah, it consumes way too much resources for what you get. So is it the 2500 or a 1980?
Yeah, it's the 2500.
Yeah.
Like 2500 by 14 something, I think.
Yeah,
or
it's the
something
same
like
as
that.
me. And so it's 144 hertz.
It's 240, I think.
What? Is that even a thing? Okay.
Or hang on, I gotta look. It's got really fucking crazy high.
Now I'm pretty big on hertz for monitors, but I'd be very surprised if you can see more than 144 frames per second because that's really fast. I can only usually my computer can only put out like 90 even in simple games.
Fuck is my.
Fuckismo? I don't know Fuckismo. Aston Martin 2013.
Did I buy this last year? When did I buy this monitor?
I don't know when you bought the monitor. I didn't know you bought it anymore.
I swore I bought it from Amazon. I don't see it on my.
Anyway, it's high refresh rate, and I'll bet it looks a lot nicer than your old one that was 60 with 4K. I'll bet. Refresh rate is king for gaming, and anybody who says otherwise is confused about their brain. Or has terrible vision, maybe. I don't know. It's funny, like when I stream at 30 frames per second, and I go watch the videos, and I'm just like, ugh, yuck. Looks like
Best
shit.
Buy?
Anyhow, I have to actually get out of here because I have to do some work still.
All right.
But I'll think about your